In this tutorial, we're going to be making a mock-up monster. This is a really good opportunity for you to have a go at applying some of the skills and knowledge you've already learned over the qualification so far. To get started, you're going to need to print out your paper monster template within your book. To make your mock-up monster, you're going to need at least 2 pieces of A5 felt, some scrap pieces of felt, embroidery thread, buttons, ribbon or other embellishments, your paper monster template, dressmaking pins, scissors and wadding to stuff. You'll notice when you look at the template that there's lots of different components and parts to your monster. And we need to create the paper template to be able to then accurately cut out your fabric. If you just started cutting your fabric or drawing it, there's a good chance that you're going to make a mistake, and fabric's a lot more expensive to replace than the paper. So we start off by cutting out the main components of your template. Once you've done this, you want to pin it in place on your fabric. So using dressmaking pins, you put your pin all the way through the paper and the fabric and then back out to the front again so that the head and the needle of the pin is facing towards you. Once you're happy that it's all secure and isn't going to move around whilst you're cutting it, you can then cut the fabric out. This is actually much quicker than drawing on the fabric first as well. You always start with your biggest piece, so I've started with the green face template to begin with, so that's the base of my mock-up monster. You then can cut out the individual pieces within it. So you don't need to print your template more than once. Now I know the template has suggested colours for you. You can be completely experimental with these and change the colours around completely. You might decide that actually you want to use embellishments instead of felt for some of the details as well. So for example, instead of this circular felt piece becoming an eye, you might have a really large button that you would prefer to use. The top tip is to always make sure that you're using the scraps of your fabric, rather than cutting from the centre of large pieces of fabric. This means that you'll have more fabric to use for future projects. You'll notice when I lay the paper template onto the felt, I'm always going to the edge of the fabric. Again, this makes optimum use of the fabric that you've got. With small pieces like this, it is often easier to draw around with a pen. It's a good idea as well to lay onto your fabric as you go, because you could easily forget what piece goes where. Once you're happy with your composition, you can then think about constructing it all together using the sewing techniques that we've explored previously.